Dilip, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, what's the sense of the overall tone of the markets? Every day the markets are ending mildly lower despite global cues being positive. Are you looking at these as buy opportunities at all?
Lata, I think markets possibly, probably in India have gone into a wait and watch mode, and rightly so. I think this demonetization, which is really one of the best moves that you can ever think about, but in the short run, the pace that it is bringing about is bringing about new challenges. So, market still is waiting for it, how to navigate that. And second, of course, we are also staring at another earnings downgrade, and possibly still, the apprehensions continue how quickly the recovery will be. And with so many moving parts internationally too, it's very difficult to take a call at the moment. Markets certainly look expensive if the earnings don't recover very quickly. Against that background and the fact that the FIs still continue to be in the sell mode, we think that markets possibly on a cautious basis will continue to move sideways, maybe for next 1 or 2 months, unless and until there's some trigger which really happens and changes the equation. But otherwise, yes, on a longer term basis, 1.5 to 2 years, one should look for an opportunity to acquire some of the stocks in your portfolio for a long-term appreciation over the next 1.5 to 2 months.
Through what's your sense of India cement in particular and cement stocks in general?
Well, I think the cement stocks still reeling under this impact, and I think the reactions have been different in the different parts of the country. But by and large, we know that overall, I think the demand has been impacted. What is compounding the problem is the fact that the raw material costs have really gone up. So I think all those things continue to haunt the cement industry for a while, and growth continues to be an issue for them. And it's been an issue for last 1.5 to 2 years. So against that background, maybe some pockets might be doing well. So when India Cement is talking about being optimistic, I think maybe some pockets are really doing well. And even on an overall basis, slightly on a contrarian basis, I think India Cement still looks good despite some of the formidables against the company's fundamentals. I think that's a stock. On a risk-return basis, I think the risk is limited, but maybe on a longer-term basis can give a reasonably good returns.
Okay, well, just 4 more minutes to go before we end for the day, and today has been a quiet day with a bit of a negative bias. So it's actually the banks and the mid-cap index that really dragged, but then again, we are still holding above that 80-50 odd level. The other stock that has seen only losses since demonetization started, Dilip, is Asian Paints. Now at 866, it's lost more than 10% this month already, and since demonetization has lost more than 20%, at what point does Asian Paints become a good buy? Or do you think that because nobody can judge how much demonetization has impacted demand, it's better to be a bit cautious?
Well, I think in Asian Paints, we would still feel that maybe another 7 to 8% lower, probably the stock would really look extremely attractive. Because, Asian Paints is one which defies all possible rational explanation, because it has been expensive, it continues to be expensive, and it continues to show a good performance in spite and despite all kinds of environments. So I think, yes, we all understand that there is going to be a bit of a hit as far as the top line and the profitability is concerned, especially also with the rising oil prices. But I think Asian Paints is one where you will always look to see when you want to buy and enter the stock. So my fair guess would be around 800, 825 would be the level when one should enter this company on a longer term basis.
Okay, Dilip, thanks.
Oh yes, I guess it was only some pockets like technology that saved the day. Dilip, I wanted your thoughts on stocks like TCS and Infosys, both of them up about 11% since the lows in November. You think that the worst is over for these stocks, and any favorites here in IT?
So yeah, I think as far as the IT stocks are concerned, they are being acquired more on a defensive basis if you have to defend your portfolio, because the stocks had really tanked off in a reasonable way the entire IT pack. because of the outcome of the US elections. And I think post that it has really tried to come back on its own. But having said that, I think there are problems, but I think they're all priced in. At the end of it, this is one sector which is still having a core ROEs of around 30%. They are still generating a reasonable amount of free cash. Of course, I think they are not too cheap also, but in these times, you really look out for some of those stocks which can really give a good resilience to your portfolio. So I would say that within the pack, I would still stick to names like TCS, Infosys, Tech Mahindra, or maybe in the B group, something like a Hexaware, which probably looks good.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for taking us through the